Do you guys know the story of Moses and the Pharaoh? When Moses and Arron went to the Pharaoh, and basically he says were commanded by God of Israel to basically declaring, sovereignty of God, God of Israel. And he said they told him they told the Pharaoh to let people, to let my people go. Basically, letting the Israelite or the bloodline that had been captured in Egypt, which is Babylon. But Babylon moved, right? Went to Europe. Okay, so Babylon was in Egypt, but that's the original Babylon, but it moved. Okay, so and the Pharaoh says, "Tell me who's your God, so I can follow his commandment or worship that God." But he, in reality, he's not he's going to worship the God or follow orders or listen to what we've been asked. He's doing it as a mockery. And then God brought the plagues and brought a lot of chaos into Egypt. Okay, and that was struck kind of fear because they told him, God will bring destruction and basically famine and the sword. They mentioned it. So this bloodline, the bloodline that is being targeting you, that is the bloodline of the Pharaohs. Okay? You don't have to know the name. I know the name. Okay? But if you want to know, you have to do the work now. I'm not going to just give it to you because I have been giving you guys information, and now I'm not going to do this. Not this time. I want you to do the work. I want you to do the spiritual work and find out on your own. Okay? The Pharaoh associated with Moses. So that's who's been targeting you. Okay? That's the Pharaohs that I'm telling you. There is a good this channel on YouTube. She goes by the name. Her channel name is called The Rapture Puzzle. Just look it up on YouTube. She mentioned that bloodline. Okay, so go and watch a video or just and figure it out on your own. Okay, I'm not just gonna give you this information because I just feel sometimes I've been giving you a lot of information, and when I say leave me a comment and give me some feedback, I don't get a lot. So I'm providing this information. I feel like a lot of target individuals, they don't want to do the work. You want the information to be fed to you. And some actually do the work. Okay, so that now, if you want to find out, you will do the work. Okay, and why is this important? Because they are actually coming into your vessel. They're doing witchcraft on your spine and your energy field and whatnot. So they do witchcraft and stuff like that, and to impact your, and you have to cancel all contract or agreements. Okay. And since you don't want to do the work, you can say the bloodline or the Pharaoh bloodline that we mentioned. I'm going to include you the verse that is talking about this. You can reference that verse in your prayer, and the universe would know who you're actually referring to. We don't even have to know the name, okay? But it's important for you to know, okay? So that's why I'm telling you. When I tell you something, I always tell you the reason and why, okay? If it's up to you, it's not really a must know, but it would be giving you a clear indication who you're dealing with, okay? And you haven't done anything to deserve this. What they've been doing to you, you haven't. You just, what's happening is because your bloodline is a target, and they're doing the same thing they did in the time of Babylon, Egypt and whatnot. Okay? And that's what exactly is happening now. It's like we are the days of Moses and Arron. Okay? This story is basically, this is what the time they are capturing us through these things they've done to us. Is this exactly what happened at that time? They are doing this again. So it's like they've done it before, they got punished for it, and then now they want to do it. They're testing God, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you're going to lose. Why you put up the fight? If you know you're going to lose, and especially fighting God is not an opponent you want to have. You understand? If you're fighting like another human, you have a chance of winning, right? But if you're fighting God, it's like you're shit out of luck. Sorry. Excuse my French, guys. So I would suggest for these people to stop, to quit when they can. You know what I'm saying? But if they continue, they lose. If they continue and they lose, God is not going to stop. You understand? Because you got to that point, there is the point of no return. At that point, God is upset, very pissed. When God says, in the whole Quran has been mentioned, if you stop, we would stop. Who do you think he's referring to? He's referring to the same bloodline. You understand? So, do the work and watch a video for the Rapture Puzzle, the story of Moses and Arron. You're going to figure out who I'm talking about. Okay? Why is it important? Because you need to cancel all they've done. You know what I'm saying? To bind, because they bind this energy, their energy, into your vessel. You understand? And they're doing it through the tree, they call it the tree of death. Okay, so talking about the tree of death as well. And I mentioned it, if I made a video about it. But I'm going to tell you what the tree of death is. You remember the story of Adam and Eve, and God instructed them not to eat from that tree? You understand? That's the tree of death. That's not the tree of life. Okay? The tree of death is the shadow of the tree of life. You understand? God, He didn't say not to eat from the tree of life. He says the tree of death. Because He says not to eat from that tree. And then the serpent says, what does the serpent say? The serpent says, did God say you shall die? Yeah, basically, the serpent asking, but the way he's saying it is, proof in the pudding. It's not really what the serpent is saying. He's not saying God is lying. You understand? But it's questioning. Is that what you heard? You know? The serpent says, you shall not die, but he never said God is lying. He says, you shall not die, but your eyes will open. Yeah, basically you begin to see. Basically, I can't remember the exact verse, but he says, your eyes will be open. That knowledge, that's the serpent of knowledge. He's saying you gain knowledge. Your eyes will be open. your veil will be lifted. Basically, that's what they're saying. Okay? And remember the story? God always giving you a choice. God will never make you do something you don't want to do. He will always give you a choice. Okay? Because how he made humanity. He gave us choices, from eating from that tree is always being given. It's symbolic. You're always in life, everything is being, what do you call it? It's symbolic, And so it's not really what you think it means. Okay? That's just the tree I'm telling you. So I know if you go on some online, forums and stuff like that, they will tell you the only thing when you work with this energy of the tree of death, or they call it something else. I can't remember the name of it now on top of my head. Anyhow, I mentioned it on that video. That they'll tell you, why they name it the death. Because your ego dies. In order for your ego to die, you're spiritually you open yourself spiritually. You become. Remember, he says, you become like God. You understand? That's what they mean, spiritually. Okay? And so you have to understand what they're saying. I've mentioned that many, many times before. The Bible, the Torah, or Quran, and Zabur. Zabur is the fourth book, by the way. Google says there are three. Anyhow, and every verse and chapter and books within these holy books is telling a story. You notice that God is talking in symbolism and he's telling you a story, and it's a great story. God is a great storyteller, it's a very can never be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? There is nobody could, take the first place when it comes to telling a true, factual, spiritual story. That's what God is. Okay? Which is great, And if you look at the number, every chapter, every verse, and stuff like that, the numbering, and then if you add it, you use gematria and you'll discover a lot of things. Very calculated, God. Even when telling a story, it's very calculated how it's been told. Isn't that great? Can anybody make that? These people cannot create that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what God is all about, And so anyhow, I'm just telling you, you need to work, because the left path is associated with the tree of death. This is associated with the moon, because there are two trees, and some they say four, because if you look at them, they said the elements are, but the elements are five. But anyhow, I looked it up, and I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, but it's a lot of information for me to take in. And for the longest time, I just thought it's like witchcraft and stuff. But they demonize everything. They demonize this part of knowledge, the left path. and they make it, because it's part of God. Okay, it's tree of life. Okay, how come the chef? Okay, if the tree of life is something good, if you look at it now, if somebody asks you, you say the tree of life, would you say it's a horrible thing? You would not say that. You would not say that. But if they say it's tree of death, you're going to think negatively, right? That's intentionally done. That was done very calculated way. Similar, to trying to deceive you, to make you think bad of the tree of death, It's not like that. The tree of death, your ego would die, In order for you have to, because ego is part of you that is stopping you from to align yourself spiritually with God. Okay? That's all. That's what all it is, So that's why they call it the tree of death. It's not really, But when I figured that out and I shared with you guys right away, I'm still working. I'm still trying to study and what I'm looking at, breaking down the symbolism, what it means, and stuff, and how, my attack subsided. My attack became less than I used to, because I've been, balancing that, and when they do witchcraft, magic, and all of that stuff, black magic, voodoos, all of that, all is done on the shadow, the fear of death. You understand? So that's why when you do prayers and you do frequencies and you do all of that, you feel like it's not working, right? You feel it's not working because you have not tackled that part of the tree, because it's hidden. You understand? Because for 10 years, I create prayers and they work like for, a couple of days and stuff. Then it kind of goes away, becomes like neutralized. Of course, part of it, they do something to neutralize it. How? They neutralize it through the black, the tree of death. That why? Because they use your words and they reverse it in a tree of death, and then it will not work anymore. But if you do both, even the neutralize it would not work. Whatever they're trying to do, it would not work anymore. You understand? So your prayer will work because you're tackling that part of you neglected. Well, you did not neglect it. You just hidden. It's hidden from you. All right? The story of Adam and Eve is that part of the tree that God says not to eat from. But the serpent clarified. Your eyes shall be open and da-da-da. And he says all of that. Just go look into what I'm telling you. If it makes sense. It's not witchcraft. It's energy work. It's working, with energy. So they're trying to demonize it to make you feel like, I'm not messing with, I'm doing witchcraft and stuff. I'm doing mantras, prayers, and stuff like that. I'm not doing hoodoos and stuff to tackle this, That's not me. I don't like witches, but they do witchcraft on you, on that part of you. You understand? So if you look at it, and also there's the elements. You include the Sephiroth associated with the elements. Okay? When you do all of that, you align yourself and you're starting to work with this part of, the hidden path. Okay? Honestly, you become very powerful. You become, you resonate, a certain way that, they don't like that. But hey, because honestly, I always been that way. If you told me not to do something, I would do it. You understand? That's exactly, what happened with that story of Adam and Eve. You know, it's normal to human to define order sometimes, or want to know why. If I would do that, what would happen? This is the normal fact about humanity. It's not just me who does this. You understand? We're very curious, you know? So it's a normal thing. It's not a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we're created that way. You know, you can, it could be, you know, okay. God didn't create us this way and expect us to go against our creation. You understand? He created us. We always have questions. We always want to know knowledge. We want to strive to be better. We want to know. You understand? And with me, I am always want to make the right decision. Thank God, God has given me a very great intuition. I rely on you know, when they attack me in my head and stuff like that, I rely heavily on my intuition. You know, and my intuition never failed me. You know? Intuition is very powerful. It's when everything fails, your intuition would save you. This is my intuition on point always. Always. When I cannot think clearly with my head. You know? But I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my heart. I feel it like in my entire being. You know? Does this make sense? And does it make sense when I'm reading or researching and stuff like that? So it has to make sense. With me, I'm not sure if you guys the same or not. With me is you have to convince me. You cannot make me do something just because. You can't tell me, yeah, you have to do this. Yes, you have to do it. I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like these people who follow orders, you know, who they tell them what to do and they do it. No, I'm not that. Okay? So that's why I said, I could never be part of this program, you know, to follow orders. Oh, you know, attack that person, do this to that person. I could never do that. You have to tell me. You have to convince me. But it can't be just because it doesn't work with me. You know what I'm saying? Not because you think that person done this. And you have to tell me, like, the truth. If I feel like slightest bit you're lying to me, I would not do what you asked me to. You understand? And that why I could never be part of this program. I could never go harass people, stalk people, attack them during their sleep. I could never do none of that. Because I think, what have that person done to me to deserve what I'm doing to him? You understand? And people will follow orders blindly and they're stupid about it, you know? And some people, they know in their guts what they're doing is wrong, but they just cannot stop. You know why? Because they get paid. If these people they don't get paid, they will not be motivated. Money is a motive. They can motivate, you know, more money motivate everybody, you know? But with me, money could never motivate me to do that. You understand? Because I know. Okay, I'll tell you something about me. I could be anything you can think of. But there's certain things I would never do. Okay? I align my God, you know, with God, with certain things that I follow blindly. I don't even question it. You understand? But what I do with myself, you know, so for example, you know, drinking, partying, and, you know, all of that, indulging in life and stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes it's a human weakness. It's, we were created that way. You know what I'm saying? And, that's something, yeah, you fall trapped into sometimes. You know, this happened. But would I go kill somebody? Would I attack somebody during his sleep? Would I poison somebody? Would I harass somebody? Would I verbally, you know, insult people, calling them? Would I curse somebody? Would I curse somebody who haven't done me anything? You know? Yes, I have prayed against people. I still do. You know what I'm saying? Because God says prayers is a way to talk to me. It's like God is, why do you think God made prayers number one weapon? How do you think how does that happen? Right? So you understand? When you talk to God, God listens. And I use logic and everything, Even God told me, and the universe told me, I'm very fair. God told me I'm a fair person. Coming from God, that's a lot. It means a lot, right? I'm not oppressive person. I could never be oppressive. You know what? I'll tell you something about okay. My family, when they define or defy my, okay, if I tell you not to do something and I know why, and I'm telling you not to do it, why? And I give you the reason why. Because honestly, I don't see the future, but I know things. I know how things is going to play out. I just embody it. I just know it. I use my intuition again. I just know. I look at the situation and I assess that situation, how it's going to play out. So when I tell, for example, when I tell my brothers and my sisters and stuff like that, not to do this because this is how it's going to happen. Do not put yourself in this because of this. Try to protect them, right? And I've done that with friends. I've done that with coworkers. I've done that with everybody. This is part of my nature, trying to help that person, And that's something just me. That's something is part of me, So when they do the opposite, and they come and complain, and I did not do this is gonna happen. I did not know this is going to happen. You were right, and I should have listened. And why are you sorry now when I told you not to do this because of that? And then exactly the same thing I told not to happen, it happened. Exactly. I have a cousin in UK. She moved out. She used to live in my sister's apartment, the apartment building, and I just told her. I used to look at something, and I told her things about her husband, and because the situation there was not really in a great place, and they were going through separation. They got divorced now, but I told her things. I told her this is how you fix it, and this is how. And she went and did the opposite. Then the husband divorced her, And then she told my sisters back in London, and she says, "Oh, your brother, ask him about this. He has a." She told me, "Oh, he has like the sixth sense, something like that." She made a comment like that. Ask him about this. What do you think about this? I want to know before I do this. She asked, but at that point, I didn't care to help her anymore because I'm not really. I don't align myself with her because I still do think she's not that good person. She's not, deep inside, she's not a good person. Anyhow, to each his own. I'm not here to judge her or whatever, but I don't want nothing to do with her. And when I say I don't want to do something with people, if I say to you, I don't want to know you, or I don't want to do anything with you, nothing you can say or do will make me change my mind. Okay? Nothing. Because when I reach that point, that's it. I will lose you, block you, and stop talking to you, and stuff like that. But I'm not one of these people who look at this, this program. They're in your life, and they're refusing to leave because you say no to them. How dare me to say no? Who are you to say no to us? Yeah. God who created you created me. He gave me a choice. Why do you think you have a choice and I don't? You're not better than me, So do not trying to, to oppress me or make me do something I don't want to do. Okay? When I tell you to quit something, you quit. You don't trying to, continue to do something and trying to piss me off more. Do you understand? So with my family, when they do the opposite and they get in trouble, then I want to help them. I want to help them because I want them to a little bit to deal with it, to struggle with it. Because then that will teach them next time when I give you an advice, you follow it. But I don't go and breathe down somebody's neck and tell them that you must. Honestly, I'm one of these people who love people when they disagree with me. If you disagree with me, it's like, you're really singing in my tune. I love it. I love it. But you have to have a reason. You can't just say, just cause. Just cause is not a reason, okay? You have to tell me why. You're going to disagree with me? If you think what I'm saying is wrong and you're right, tell me how. But you can't just say it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not that. I'm just me. Okay? And I do things the way that I see it fit. I don't go by, a book or follow a certain way of dealing with things, and I'm not part of this collective where everybody does the same thing. They're programmed to act a certain way and be a certain way, and da-da-da. I am not that. I don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? Would I go against the grain to prove a point? Yes, I would. You know what I'm saying? Because I do things what makes me happy. If I'm not really crossing or breaking any boundaries or whatnot, what is it to you to decide for someone to live how they live their life? Because they were not part of this, group who follow orders, obedience, to the system. You understand? I am not going to be obedient to no system, okay? The system is obviously failing. Look at it. So, I'm going to live the life the way I see fit. I'm not going to follow any trends or a way of living just to blend in, to be well liked. It's not a popularity contest. It's not like I don't want to be well liked because I'm following orders, obedient. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when they used to, fan people, the rulers, you don't want to be fanned all day with feather fans and stuff like that. I'm not like that. You don't have to fan me, you just have to convince me. That's it. If you can convince me, I'm with you, I have to really believe it. What's wrong? The BS you're trying to tell me is the shit doesn't stink, You have to sell me that, And you have to be really adamant about telling me why, without lying to me, Otherwise, I would not follow. I would not follow you, And God made me this way. Who are you to say, we don't like this part of you, we want to change that, and we want to leave this, and we want to change that, and whatnot? You have no right in the matter. You have no right to decide for people how they live their life. Okay? God's created a sovereign being, and we're always going to be sovereign being. Sovereignty comes from God because He created us to be a servant. He didn't create us to be a slave system. Oh yeah, they came into earth to mine gold. Do you believe that story? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, whatever. If you believe that. They came, these people they're referring to, they have advanced technology. When they did DNA editing back in the day, they didn't even have microscope to look at the, cells and the stuff back then. and the humanity was created. Back in the day when before there used to be publishing and stuff like that. When God told the story how the baby is conceived, He even talked about the parts, from the sperm going to the egg, and the egg start to divide, and He talked about the cycle. Back before there was any technology to say that is how it's happening. Now, if you look at it in use Google, use Google if you like Google, and to tell you how the baby is created. It would tell you the cycle and tell you all of that and da da da. Even they said, the fertility. God, talk about the fertility, talk about the 28 days of a month. They talk about a lot of stuff. How would that be possible? God didn't create us to come to earth to mine gold, because God has the technology to find gold. He doesn't need, to mine a slave race to do that, to mine gold. Okay? And if, a lot of story is been edited, a lie, people who lie about the whole thing. They lie about a lot of information, and now it's like deleting stuff, deleting stuff from Google again. They're deleting information and stuff, and information is a war on information. A war on information it's been done for a long time. Remember the Gnostic, when they had information about God and stuff, they waged a war on them. They invaded countries. They didn't want people to learn how to read these holy books, and they kill people, and hoarding of information, and stuff. And country was annihilated because of it, and it's been like that for the longest time. They want to have all the knowledge, and they want people to have nothing. You understand? Because they don't. Okay, I'll tell you why they do that. Because they're afraid people would know who they are. When you know something that gonna make you evolve as a human being, they don't like that. And they don't like things that question their ideas or their information, or that how many times they said holy book mistranslation. When they say the Bible mistranslation, the Quran never says mistranslation, but the Bible says, and the Torah and other books. But why do you think that is? Always mistranslation. Always blame it in a mistranslation. You understand? Isn't it that? It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's the game is getting old. This game of and it's tiresome. You always have to deal with the same BS. Anyhow, sorry about the rant, guys, but I just want to tell you the days of Moses and Aaron. It's weird that we live in that era. We're dealing with the same bloodline of that Pharaoh from that story, right? And just go look up the rapture puzzle. You're gonna know who it is if you want to know. If not, you don't. You just have to create a prayer to undo and focus on the shadow side. The tree of death. Which is the tree of life shadow. Okay, the shadow. It's called shadow work for a reason. Okay, because it's a shadow of the tree. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I hope this helped. Sorry, I'm talking about different things, but I just hate to create videos. Every video specifically for one thing. I like to talk about everything on one go, about a lot of different things, instead of creating just video after video and after video. Just that's me. Okay. All right. Take care.